Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am sharing with you my first impressions of the Monochrome Manga Club series reads for the month of October. So the Monochrome Manga Club is an in real life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble where we read 2 first in a series reads, and we are currently reading 2 series. So our selections for the month of October were Volume 1 of Dark Gathering by Kenichi Kondo. This one's published by Viz, rated older teen. Volume 1 of Box of Light, story and art by Seiko Erisawa, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. Full Metal Alchemist, this is a 3-in-1 edition, so we read volumes 13, 14, and 15. Story and art by Hiromu Arakawa, published by Viz, rated teen. And volumes 7 and 8 of Persona 4. This one is by Shuji Sogabe and Atlas, published by Udon Entertainment, and I would say these are be older teen. So because this is a first impressions video, I will not be talking to you about Full Metal Alchemist or Persona 4, but if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on these volumes, definitely check out my Desus 19 diaries, where I will share my thoughts with you on those. But the volumes that I will be sharing my thoughts with you on today will be our 2 first in a series reads. So let's go ahead and start with Dark Gathering. So this follows a guy who had a scary situation involving a malevolent spirit when he was younger, and it actually hurt one of his best friends, and so he's kind of been a shut-in. But now he's decided that he's ready to come out of his shell, start kind of living again. He's starting university, and so this is a great time for a fresh start. And he ends up taking a tutoring job, and he decides that he doesn't want anything to do with the supernatural anymore, and he just wants a normal life. So he takes his tutoring job. He ends up tutoring this kid here on the cover, and her name is Yayoi, and she is kind of obsessed with the occult. So Yayoi is a kid who has kind of always been able to see both planes of existence. There's something in her eyes that kind of made that so, and you can kind of see here on the cover that in her eyes there are skeletons where her or skulls where her pupils are, and that's kind of the double pupil that she has. And when she was a little bit younger, her parents and her got into a car accident and it actually claimed the lives of her parents, so she's the sole survivor. Shortly after they had crashed, she saw this thing take the spirit of her mother. So she's on a mission to find what took her mother. And so she kind of knows that her tutor, what's his name? Keitaro, is kind of a magnet. He's a magnet for these spirits. And so she uses that to her advantage to get what she wants. And Keitaro's not very comfortable with this, but once he kind of finds out what had happened to Yayoi in her past, and the fact that his friend is a relative of Yayoi, he kind of gets more involved in what's going on. Not really by choice, but I feel like as we go through this volume, it kind of is leaning more in that direction. So this story just kind of follows them getting to know each other, getting to know, both of their backgrounds and things like that, and then kind of figuring out how these two are going to work together from here on out. And I actually really, really enjoyed it. I didn't find it scary, but I believe a couple of my manga club members did. I enjoyed the art style very much. It's very kind of different, especially with the way that, Yayoi's eyes are. There are some things that I could see, being uncomfortable to read. But I enjoyed this volume a lot. In fact, while we were at the Barnes & Noble, I did pick up the next couple volumes that were there, and I'm really, really excited to continue with this one because there's definitely some interesting things going on here. In fact, one of the kind of urban legends that are told in this volume was one that I had heard from a video game that we had played, my daughter and I. And So it was slightly different from what was in the video game, but it still had similar like factors to it. And that kind of just made it more interesting for me to have something familiar, in the story. And yeah, I'm really, really interested to see how this partnership is going to continue. But I really enjoyed it. We'll definitely be continuing. And so, yes, very glad that I was able to read that one with my group. And then the last of our first in a series reads was Box of Light. This is a more slice of life story with a little bit of a supernatural twist to it. We are kind of mostly, I would say, in this convenience store here, which is the Box of Light. This convenience store is kind of at the crossroads of life and death. So the summary of this actually kind of is misleading. It kind of says that it's where transient souls kind of make their final purchase, the final purchase they'll ever make. And that is kind of untrue. So because this convenience store is in the crossroads between life and death, there are situations where people can get into where they could be at that crossroads, but they don't cross over. They go back to the land of the living. And there is actually an example of that in here. But it's basically following the workers at this convenience store, how they ended up being workers at that convenience store and their backstories, and just some of the shenanigans that happen at the convenience store. Like I said, there is a supernatural twist because you are dealing with spirits, and most of the workers at the convenience store are not humans. They're not human spirits. But yeah, definitely very slice of life-esque, just like day-to-day things. And I actually did not enjoy this one very much. I was kind of expecting a little bit more of that supernatural element, especially, with the fact that the store was at the crossroads of life and death. And where this Box of Light is, it's, dark. It is dark all outside. And so that's why, it's the Box of Light. It's the only thing that has lights in the area. And, there was lots of just like day-to-day stuff. You see these people going through their lives. You meet other people that are kind of connected to these workers that are at this convenience store. You follow some of the people who visit the convenience store and things like that. But yeah, it was okay. I will not be continuing with this series. I'm not much of a slice of life type of reader, and there wasn't enough of a supernatural element in this one to keep me interested. I didn't find it creepy at all. The back of this says prepare for shadowy creatures, strange employees, and an air of dread in this delightfully creepy supernatural tale. I did not find an air of dread at all. Strange employees, sure. That kind of makes them quirky, Shadowy creatures, yeah, I would say there was at least one. And delightfully creepy, no, I didn't find this creepy at all. And to be honest, if this was just set at a normal convenience store, in some like remote town, the story would have worked just as well, other than the fact that, some of the people that come to this convenience store pass on. But yeah, I'm not going to be continuing with this one. It's definitely not my cup of tea, but I know a couple of my Monochrome Manga Club members did enjoy this one, so I'm glad I read it, but I won't be continuing with that one. So that is everything that I have to say in regards to our first in a series reads. And before I let you go, I do want to let you know what we will be reading for the month of November. In November, our meeting is actually going to be a little bit earlier because our normal meeting date would have fallen on Thanksgiving Day. So we're meeting the week before. And so, have a little bit less time to read, but as always, if you're reading along with us, you can definitely let me know your thoughts on the volumes at any time in our Discord, which I've linked down in the description box below, or you can let me know down in the comment section of this video. So our selections for the month of November were actually suggested by the Monochrome Manga Club members. So these are member selections, member requests, and so we will be reading volume 1 of Tokyo Aliens by Naoe. This one's published by Square Enix Manga, rated older teen. So this at the top says, "Welcome to the sprawling metropolis of Tokyo, a top intergalactic tourist destination where the lives of Earthlings and aliens intertwine. Nerdy, awkward high school student Akira is startled out of his ordinary life one day on his way home from buying manga in Akihabara. There on the train, he witnesses a ferocious battle unfold between two strangers with unusual powers. Oddly enough, one of them looks a lot like the tall, dark, and handsome kid in his grade. But before Akira can ponder it any further, he finds himself kidnapped by none other than an alien. Akira is far from ready to discover that aliens are real, but nothing can prepare him for learning the shocking secret of what really happened to his father, a police officer who died in the line of duty." So that sounds very interesting. It sounds like there's a mystery element to it, a little bit of sci-fi with the aliens, and so I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. And then our other member request was volume 1 of Laid Back Camp. So this is by Afro, published by Yen Press, rated teen. So it says, setting up a tent, starting a fire, and eating noodles with Mount Fuji in view, Rin and Nadeshko absolutely love to camp, enjoy their zest for travel, and maybe even pick up a tip or two about roughing it in the great outdoors. You might just want to go camping yourself. So this again sounds like slice of life-ish. Probably not going to be my cup of tea, but that view is really, really pretty. And I'd like to see what our characters get up to while they're camping. And so, yes, it looks like it's going to be an entertaining read. So I'm excited to try that one out as well. We will also be continuing with our series that we have currently on the go. So we will be reading volumes 16, 17, and 18 of Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa, published by Viz, rated teen. And then we will also be reading volumes 9 and 10 of Persona 4 by Shuji Sogabe and Atlas, published by Udon Entertainment, rated older teen. So I'm really looking forward to these volumes. I kind of feel like I know what's coming up in this volume just from the cover here, because like I've mentioned before, I have seen the anime adaptation. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that volume progresses, as well as the next one. I've been really enjoying Persona 4 and Full Metal Alchemist as well. And so, yes, excited to continue with both of those series and get to these volumes also. So let me know down in the comments below if you'll be joining us for our November reads, or if you've read October reads, and let me know your thoughts. Like I said, you can let me know down in the comments below, or you can join our Discord, which is linked in the description box below. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. So if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a, I don't know, fire emoji or something to do with camping, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.